What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. It is me, the dad bod god himself, the bald, the beard, the fucking beautiful Piers Austin, and tonight I have a very special guest. He is Mr. Luke Hawx. He is professional wrestling veteran. He's an actor. He's a stuntman. He's actually here in Australia at the moment working on a project, which I'm going to bring him out in just a minute. But before I do, I want to take a quick second, a quick pause, if you will, to thank some of those amazing people that help us keep the lights on up in this bitch every single week. And that is healthvape.com. Your healthy vaping alternative, ladies and gentlemen. All of their products, no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals, and they're vitamin infused. Alan Funk says they're like vaping a Red Bull. I don't know if that's even possibly a thing. He says it is, but check out healthvape.com. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount at your final purchase. Guys, once you're done over there, go over and check out sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, sleefs.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, you need to check out Sleeves. They've got everything and anything that you need in athletic wear: armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, socks, headbands, knee bands, boots, mouth guards, and they've even got dirty boxes. And they have sent me boxes of the boxes, guys. And these dirty boxes are the most comfortable boxes that I own. And I can say boxes about 100 times in a sentence, or maybe a minute. Boxes, boxes, boxes. But guys, I'm an active guy. I'm running around all day with work. I've got 3 kids. I go to the gym. These boxes stay dry, they stay fresh, and they're comfortable. And ladies and gentlemen, let's face it, when the pants come down at the end of the night and they've got a nice funky design at the front of them, it always makes Mrs. Austin have a little bit of a giggle. So guys, make sure you check out those dirty boxes at sleefs.com. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Guys, we are so glad that you guys are with us here tonight. And if you are joining us for the first time, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, share, like, hit the bell, all that good shit, because we bring you some amazing content here at the MWA Podcast Network. We've got Killing the Business with ECW Original, the Kingpin, Angel Medina, and King Mega every single Friday at 8 p.m. USA Eastern. And then we've also got Nights at the Gimmick Table, which is making its return, hosted by the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider, and joining the show, Cade Lothbrock. And these guys are going to be doing a bit of a twist to their show. They're going to have guests some weeks. They're going to have some panel shows other weeks. It's going to be a great show, so make sure you tune in. You've also got the NXT Roundup, and you've got this show, Shooting the Shit, so you get a lot of amazing content free absolutely every single week. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. But guys, without further ado, I'm going to bring out my guest for this evening. He is Mr. Luke Hawx. Luke,
Jesus, well, that was a 4.5 minute segment. That was an intro. What an intro! 4.5 minute intro. Wow.
Thank you for sitting through that, man. I appreciate it.
I almost sure. I was about to start cooking dinner. I got a question for you. So Every time a guest comes on, do you go, I got a very special guest for you today, a very special guest?
I think every guest I have on is special in their own way.
No, man. Everybody can't be very special. It's like, oh, you got to say sometimes you got to, oh, man, I got this dude on today. This dude from wherever you got, come on, man, let's spice it up a little bit. Everybody ain't special. Everybody don't get a participation award. That ain't how it works.
Absolutely.
I'm very special. I'm very special.
You are very special, man. But man, welcome to being on the show. I really appreciate having you on. And since you've been out in Australia now for what, like a couple of months now, right?
Like 6 weeks, man. It's I might not ever go back. I'm thinking about just staying here.
You missing home at all?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm missing, home. Look, if I could, I'd go back tomorrow. Oh my God, I wish I was there so bad.
Oh mate, what's been the highlight of your trip here in Australia so far?
I think Man, I went canyon jumping at Blue Mountain. I think it was Blue Mountain was the name of it. We went
Yeah.
canyon jumping and diving into the caves and stuff, so that was cool. Uh, I've done a lot of cool stuff: kite surfing, uh, did a little stunt driving. Sorry if I'm looking away. I'm trying to think. I just did so much. I got to go full with the kangaroos and the koalas and all the animals at some of the zoos. Some really nice hikes with some really nice waterfalls and just some very, very, very pretty views around here. You got everything within a good driving distance. You got the rainforest like an hour away. You got the beach right here. You got theme parks. So Gold Coast is really pretty place. Really enjoyed my time. I mean, my time in Sydney was great as well. Spent 2 weeks in Sydney. The first 2 weeks were in Sydney, and it was right in the heart of downtown Sydney, and it had everything right there. Right, God, what's the name of that? Darling Harbor, right by
Yeah.
Darling Harbor. So I'm trying to remember these landmarks so I can go, yeah, whenever I hear them, I go, yeah, I was there. I stayed there.
Did you go check out like the Sydney Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge and stuff like that?
Yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that. We didn't go inside, but we walked around it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing you really need to do. Like, there's nothing much inside it that makes it any stand out more. I think it's the outside of it. But getting the opportunity to be here, in Australia, like starting out, in professional wrestling, like I was doing a little bit of background and research, and one of the things I found interesting, is that you were trained by Vic Grimes, right?
Yes, sir.
Because like Vic's a guy you don't hear had like a lot of guys have come from trained from him. Was
No,
he like?
just me,
Yeah,
me,
right.
and Vinny Massaro kind of. Vinny was training under Vic back in the day. They would come up around the same time. Vinny still wrestles.
Yeah, right. And
He was in Lucha Underground.
oh, really?
Yeah. He was the Italian in Lucha Underground.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I know who you're
So
talking about.
yeah.
How did
And
you
Vinny,
find?
I was gonna say
Sorry.
Vinny was a good wrestler. Vinny was like a really, really good wrestler. He just, he didn't have the best build. You know what I mean? He's built like Danny DeVito, but
Hey, brother. I'm feeling.
he's built like Piers Austin.
Hey, I'll take it.
But not phenomenal wrestler. I've always liked Vinny. Like Vinny was one of those guys that I wrestled him in XPW my first singles match, and he really helped me bring my game to another level and help me understand wrestling a little better. So, and we had to do it as a death match. So we were both like, neither one of us wanted to do a death match, so we had to tie a couple of things into it. And his whole thing was like, let's tell a story. Let's not just go out there and do, bing, bam, boom, and freaking fall into stuff. Let's tell a story and let's build to every bump. Let's make every bump make sense. So, that's where I really started to really think about that stuff, like on my own, like how can I make it make sense? How can I make it, how can we just not do anything that looks stupid?
I think I remember Vinny Massaro. Was he the guy that he used to come out to like the Sopranos theme music?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and had like the black hair to about here, and I think
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah, but how did you get hooked up with Vic Grimes?
I was paying his ass. I was like 16 and he came to a show, ACW show in New Orleans. I was like, hey, I'm helping book some shows here in Louisiana. Can I get your phone number? I might be able to get you booked. So I wasn't booking no damn shows. I was just bullshitting.
That's some fucking confident shit, but dude.
Oh yeah. So I would just call him and talk to him. He'd always answer the phone. And like when he hears me, he'd go, "How you doing?" Like he wouldn't tell me to screw off, but I could hear in his voice he was tired of me calling him and being a pain in his ass. So I suckered him into giving me his address, and I was sending him tapes of me doing backyard wrestling and stuff, and some like local training here.
Yeah.
And then I just drove across country one day and knocked on his door and said, "I want you to train me." And he said I was a moron.
Yeah, because I read that like you actually were supposed to go to the
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Yeah, that's
I
right. And
went to I went to Philadelphia, and Rob Feinstein fucked me over, bullshitted me. And long story short, he just told me he had a job and a place for me to stay. And when I got there, he fucking ignored me. So he lied to me, and then I called him, and he's like, "Oh, he made up some bullshit story." So that's why I was like, "Fuck it, I ain't going home." And like, I didn't know anybody in Philly, so I was like, "I ain't staying in Philly." So I was like, I know Vic's address. I'm gonna just look it up on the maps and go drive over there. So I drove to Oakland, California from Philly.
how far is that? Like
Far.
how many? Like it's hour drive. Like 10,
Oh,
12?
3 days. 3 days. I did
Shit,
it. I did it in 3 days, which is fast. I
fuck,
hauled ass.
dude. That's dedication to go and like break into the business though. Like you have to think like how many people
I
would go
wanted
on
it.
this 3 day
I didn't
road
want to
trip.
come home. I didn't want to be a failure. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to fail. Excuse me, my mouth's dry as shit. Um, yeah, I didn't want to fail, and it was like if I came home, I was a failure. I knew there was nothing to come home to. So I had to get out. I had to get the fuck out of there and go. Do my thing and learn from somewhere proper and try and get on the map. And that's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, what was Vic's reaction when you just sort of like knocked on the door and like,
I said I was a moron. I said, he knocks on the door. I said, hey, and he goes, what are you doing here? I said, I want you to train me. I drove all the way over here because I want you to train me. And he looks at me and he goes, you're a fucking moron.
so,
And I was like, what? And my heart sank in my stomach because in my mind, I thought he was going to just like be like, oh, come on, kid, let's make you the next big thing. I'm going to take you in my backyard and we're going to. He's like, I don't even have a fucking ring. How am I going to train you? I was like, I don't care, man. Like, just teach me. And
and
then
how did he teach you with no ring? Like just
like
at show?
when we started training in the backyard, and then sometimes we go like Mike Modison in school on the weekend when they ain't there, and we used to actually get heat for that. And then we would go do all these shows together, and we would train at the shows. We'd go early and get in the ring and roll around.
Yeah, and I suppose that like back in the day, that's kind of how like a lot of the old school guys really learned. Really was like on the road
Yeah,
at shows and
yeah,
those towns with guys, right?
yep. So
Because
I
like
started
you,
traveling all these shows in California, up and down the coast. LA, all over San Francisco, San Jose, Sacramento. We used to just travel all of the whole. Go down into Mexico, and we do all these shows. San Diego, just all those towns, man. We go wrestling. So it was cool. And I was young. You know what I mean? So it was like we were doing stuff every weekend, 2 or 3 shows a weekend. So it was just a really good time for a young guy like myself, and I got to travel with the experienced guys from California because
oh,
the guys in Louisiana didn't know their head from their ass, so that's why I had to get out of there, and I would travel with all these experienced guys who had been around, and all had kind of done something somewhere. So and they were kind of boosting me up, but teaching me along the way as well. But like they were quick to tell me if I was screwing up, but they seen something in me, which was cool.
yeah, and that would be a big thing as well for like those guys to sort of take you in because there's at the end of the day, there's nothing in it for them to help out this kid from
Right.
Louisiana. It's no big thing for them. So for them, it must have been like they seen your dedication in this and go, hey, this kid has got a lot of passion and got something for this business.
Yeah, I think you see, like I was a completely different guy back then too. I was I was thug life back then, so I was still kind of fresh out the hood. So it was I didn't really speak proper. I didn't. I just had a lot of things that business wise and business sense would have held me down because you know I grew up a certain way, but I had to learn along the way how to conduct myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was never like you didn't grow up. I never did homework at school because nobody ever made me do homework. They barely made me go to school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I didn't have these fundamentals instilled in me. So these are things that had to be taught over time, and how to conduct an interview, how to look somebody in the eye, how to shake their hand. These are things I learned like in a boys' home.
Mm.
So and you got to put them to practice over time. It's weird. It's a different life. I had a different life growing up.
Oh man, and it definitely sounds like it was one of those things like you and and I've had a friend who was very similar who grew up in in circumstances which were pretty rough, and he ended up like when he was about 20 something moving away to like Queensland somewhere and working on a farm, and that pretty much saved his life, because if he stayed here, like he was the sort of guy you were going to get that phone call, hey, like he's in jail or something's happened. So that kind of saved his life. And do you feel like you moving away was like something saving your life, like you going down a road of a path that's not so what you want to do?
Well, yeah, because I wanted to get away from everything. I hated it, man. I hated the lifestyle that I was in. So, but I was also a product of that lifestyle, so I didn't have the right manners that I wasn't bad. I wasn't completely mannerless, but I just
No.
like, again, just speaking proper, being able to speak intelligently, and instead of just sounding like you're from the streets. So like people always ask me now, like, man, where you from? You got a rough accent, because it's like that Cajun ghetto twang, Like I got like a real little mixture of everything. So people always question where I'm from with it. I just tell them it's just it was my environment growing up. So it's a product of my environment. But yeah, like I said, it was just I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot growing up. I've had a lot of good opportunities, and riding with those guys is with you know everybody gave me a little bit of knowledge, and everybody dropped some advice on me, and I could take a little bit from each person to become better.
Oh, absolutely, dude. And is that how you got involved in XPW, through going through like the California indie sort of route?
Yeah, exactly how. Yeah, me and Vic had a banging match. And I got it on. It's on YouTube, but we had a little. It was 2001, I think it was. We had this fire match in San Jose, dude, and it was like the best match of my time at that time. And everybody was talking about the match on the West Coast. So Vic brought a copy of the tape to XPW. Said, "Hey, They knew who I was, because I've been down to a couple shows from them. They're like, "Hey, here it is, my student. Check it out."
Yeah.
So they watched it, and they were like, "Holy shit, this kid's good. We need to bring him in." So they said, "Oh, we're having this tag team tournament. We want to put him with this other kid and call him the Altar Boys. You think he'll do it?" So that was it. And I was Altar Boy Luke, and he was Altar Boy Matthew. And it happened one show, and then the guy disappeared off the face of the earth, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, because
But everybody always asks about him. They're like, "Hey, whatever happened to your old tag team partner, Altar Boy Matthew?" I'm like, "It wasn't my. I mean, we tagged one time, one time."
And then you were forever tied together as like the greatest indie tag team of all time.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so funny.
Oh, but how did you like find XPW? Because during your time there, like you did deathmatch wrestling, but like looking at your career, you know what I mean? Like you haven't done a lot of death matches since then that I've come across. I could be completely off the mark, but like
I ain't gonna do none.
was the deathmatch thing something you just wanted to try one and done, or was it like something you presented?
I didn't even want to do it. They XPW asked me to do it, and I felt that I was in a position where I couldn't say no, because if I said no, they weren't going to use me anymore. Or, what I mean? Like I was a new guy, and I was super green. So like I'd only been in the business a couple of years at that point. So who the fuck was I to say what I can and can't do, or what I will and won't do, who I won't wrestle and all that shit. I didn't have that power. So I was like, man, I was just really disappointed, because I didn't want to do death matches. So there was a long story to it too, because like the way they went about doing it, and Vic got involved and everything else. And then the long story short is, once I got the okay from Vic, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you how to do it, blah blah blah." So we went in there and he just kind of gave me some uppers on, how to protect myself against certain things. And I did it and I had a good match. The first match was with Vinny Massaro, and we built up to those two bumps in the matches where I went in the barbed wire and he went on a bed of nails.
Yeah.
And then I wrestled Supreme in the semifinals, and that's where we went hardcore and did a little bit of everything. I mean, and this was all legit. None of this was gimmick stuff. This isn't, this wasn't movie props, bro. This was real barbed wire, real nails, real thumbtacks, real everything. And it was brutal. And I remember at the first match, they just got high praises. And then they said, "Oh, we want to put the title on you. Supreme wants to put the belt on you."
Whoa. So that kind of like marries you into deathmatch wrestling.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
You just said that Supreme wanted to.
No, my photos just came up. We were on the phone, and my photos just popped up for some reason. It's like somebody's tapping into my shit.
And we didn't see anything. We just saw what we're seeing now. But yeah, I mean, having that title being put on you would obviously put you in a situation, meaning you're the deathmatch champion. You have to now. Your matches are going to be death matches.
Yeah, and so I was like, shit. But then I was like, man, I can't say no to getting this belt. Like, this is a big deal because it was something everybody was talking about at the time. Especially like in the indie world, and just like if you're a wrestling fan, people were talking about XPW and they were talking about the death matches and stuff like that. So especially on the West Coast. So I was like, man, I got to do this for my career. I got to do it. So I did it and I got the belt. And after 3 or 4 death matches, I was just like, I don't want to do this no more. You know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. Like I don't, because like I started getting all these indie offerings, indie bookings like coming at me for death matches, and I was like, I'm not a death match wrestler. Like, I don't want to be known as a death match. Like, I was really offended by it. I'm like, I'm not a death match wrestler. You know what I mean? So I did not want to be labeled as a death match wrestler. So because I just work really hard on my craft, and I didn't have a gymnastics background. I didn't have anything. I was a high flyer back then, and I was a pretty inventive high flyer if I put myself over. But yeah, I always try to think of new things, like everybody does, right? And I came up with a few good things, and some things got stolen along the way, and on bigger markets like they always do. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I wanted to be known for my creativity, and I wanted to inspire people. And I didn't think deathmatch wrestling was inspiring. I thought it was more just a fucking act of stupidity. Because, what the fuck? Like, why are you butchering yourself? For what? To show how tough you are? Who gives a shit?
It's kind of crazy. I actually saw like a clip from a death match that happened somewhere in the United States, where at the end of it, some guy clipped off the tip of his index finger, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, that's fucked.
Dude, yeah, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, look, and what I don't get is some of those deathmatch wrestlers, they can wrestle. So I don't understand it. Like, and then you go, like, man, I used to always get mad at LaFisto for doing death matches because I thought she was so talented, and she would go out there and she would get power bombed on beds and thumbtacks and stuff. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm just showing I can go. She was just tough. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you can actually freaking wrestle your ass off. You're a really tough chick. Why? I don't need you to go fall on thumbtacks to show me how tough you are.
100%, man. It's crazy. Like, seeing her have a career that she's had, and then getting inducted into the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame. It's
she deserves it, dude. She's somebody who should have had a job a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
She should.
She hasn't.
Yeah, because she's so talented, such a hard worker too, and just a good person as well.
Yeah, completely agree. But one thing I wanted to talk to you, and I am being mindful of the time because of you've got to be up early. But I wanted to ask you as well, like, you know, you and your son, yeah, and you mentioned things that have been taken and done on a bigger scale. And I wanted to talk about you and your son, PJ Perry. You know, tag team that you guys have had, you know, talking to you when we were sort of in Sydney talking, you know, I can see how proud you are as a father of him for everything that he's accomplished, you know, being part of the MWA roster, tagging with you and learning the business from you and basically learning the right way, or the way that you were sort of shown the right way, you know, and I think that that's an important skill. But is he like a carbon copy of you? Like, how is he like?
No, he's very reserved, very soft spoken, very polite. But I'll tie in a fucking pretzel in a heartbeat. If you know, I mean, he's a. Oh, Michael Manna has entered the chat. My BFF. You know who that is?
I do know who that is.
Yeah, shout outs to Michael Manna, aka Stevie Richards. So yeah,
it.
Perry's just a very he's reserved. That's the best way I can put it, you know. And he loves wrestling. He's a very hard worker. He likes the grind of wrestling. He likes wrestling training. He likes to go to practice and stretch and roll around. You know, that's just his thing, which is awesome to see. You know, from a dad standpoint, obviously loving wrestling the way I do, to have my son love it just as much, if not more, than I do, and to be able to, you know, not only just see him compete, but to compete alongside him is something that you really can't put into words. It's special. And most people, you know, they'll never, ever know what that's like, unfortunately, you know, and I'm not saying that to, you know, be a jerk about it. It's just like, for me, it's like, how many people can say they performed at a top level alongside their child at the same time?
Yeah,
100%.
You
know? And not only are we getting to do it with wrestling, we're getting to do it in the film world, and we're making movies and television shows together a lot. Yeah. You know, so obviously, you know, we got Heels. We're about to start season 2 of Heels. You know, me and him do the wrestling on that. So he's my assistant on it. He's my backup man, and you know, he's actually there covering for me right now, because while I'm in Australia on this project that I'm working on, Heels is in prep. So my son's there covering for me in prep. He's doing all the prep and all the choreography. And obviously, you know, he plays a role in the show as well. So it's like, you know, it's cool, man. And that's not, you know, he didn't get that from being daddy's boy. Like, he had an audition for that. They picked him. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like,
he's earned it on merit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's cool, man. So we get to work together, and we get to perform together, and we get to wrestle together, and we get to get on each other's nerves, and, you know, just
I feel like it's amazing father-son bonding, but also like, but doing heaps of fun shit together as well. Like, because I can imagine movies could be long and tedious and everything like that, but I imagine the majority of it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a great time, dude. Like I said, it's one of those things like, excuse me.
Sorry to keep you up.
No, that's all right. I know I gotta get up early. Oh, I got it. It's like I'll tell you why I gotta get up early, because I gotta go in earlier than everybody else, because I gotta get all my tattoos covered.
Oh wow!
So I'm sitting in 2 hours of coverage getting my tattoos, you know, all the makeup on my tattoos to cover my body.
Damn! I actually I saw a thing of CM Punk getting all his done, and he's like,
just like he did on Heels. Yeah, it takes, dude. It's a pain in the ass. But, you know, it's part of the business. And my dumbass wanted tattoos, so I had to be a dumbass.
Would you ever go get them removed?
Oh, God, no. Oh, if it was an easy way to get them removed, like them burning you, hell yeah, I'd get them removed. I get a bunch of them removed.
Yeah.
I was just young and dumb. Bro, I was 11 when I got my first tattoo. 11. I was 11. I put 2 tattoos on me myself with my boys. Hey, 11.
11. What?
Yeah, I was dumb, bro. I was dumb. I was with the wrong people. I'm telling you.
11 years old, man. Fuck, dude. But you know what? I am being courteous to the time. We just hit that 30-minute mark. Luke, I'd love to get you back on for a part 2, man. I feel like 30 minutes is not near like long enough. I feel like you and I could sit here for like a good 90 minutes to like and have a proper chat.
No, definitely, and I'm down to do it. Like my schedule frees up because I'm almost finished here. I finish filming tomorrow, and then I'm jetting out, and then I'm going back to my other project. So I'll have some free time up in there, and we can figure something out for sure.
Yeah, man, absolutely. But guys, while we're at it, we just want to take a quick second to thank some of our amazing sponsors. Shout outs to healthvape.com and sleeps.com. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, guys, make sure you tune in for Killing the Business this Friday at 8 p.m. USA Eastern. That is 12 p.m. Saturday Australian time. You don't want to miss it. It's going to have ECW original, that Kingpin, Angel Medina, King Mega. I'll even stop by. Hell, maybe we'll get some other random people to stop by as well, because that's what we do. And they're going to be covering off a lot of amazing topics, guys. So it's always entertaining. Make sure you check it out. And also, Knights of the Gimmick Table is making its return following Killing the Business. So make sure you do not miss out. But guys, until then, this is Luke Hawx. I'm Piers Austin, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Till then, take care. All the best. Peace out.
Later.